should never have put me with that woman.
And now I'm absolutely ashamed of saying I'm Labour.
Whose idea was that? Oh, everything. She's just a sort of bigoted woman.
You're joking.
There is something wonderfully delicious about hearing the real thoughts of a politician.
The 28th of April 2010, that's a day that will forever live in infamy for the Labour Party, particularly former Prime Minister Gordon Brown. That's because it was the day the leader of the country called one of his own voters a bigot. That day began as many days on the campaign trail do. Gordon Brown travelled up to Rochdale to campaign with the Labour candidate in what was looking like a marginal contest with the Lib Dems.
None of these walkabouts are quite what they seem. They're fairly manufactured events. And so Labour are keen not just to allow him to wander freely amongst people in Rochdale, they wanted to set up the people he'd likely to encounter.
Enter stage right, Gillian Duffy. She was a Rochdale local and a lifelong Labour supporter who the Prime Minister's team must have thought was the perfect candidate for one of these chance meetings. But little did they know this was actually the second mistake they had made that day. The first came earlier that morning.
But on this occasion, this was so choreographed that Labour asked Sky News if the Prime Minister, rather than having a stick mic dangling above him while he was talking to people, could have a lapel mic, a radio lapel mic, which would catch all the audio as he was wandering around.
It's,
6 months.
You can't say anything about the immigrants because you're saying that but all these Eastern Europeans what are coming in, where are they flocking from?
1 million people come from Europe, but 1 million people, British people, have gone into Europe. You do know there's a lot of British people staying in Europe as well.
And then Gordon Brown walks off and gets in his car. As far as he's concerned, the interview with Gillian has been damaging, and he's not happy. You can imagine he'd be feeling glad it was over and ready to move on. But he and his team have forgotten something crucial.
Now it's not being broadcast live. We've come off the live shot at that time, but the audio is still coming in.
That was a disaster. Well, just... Okay. Should never have put me with that woman. Whose idea was that?
I don't know, I didn't see.
It was Sue, I think. It was just ridiculous.
I'm not sure they'll go with that one.
They will go with it.
And then the Prime Minister uttered the words that would make a bad interview with a constituent into a disaster.
What did she say?
Oh, everything. She's just a sort of bigoted woman. Said she used to be Labour. I mean, it's ridiculous.
There is something wonderfully delicious about hearing the real thoughts of a politician after they've encountered a member of the public, rather than having this sort of sanitised version that we always get.